How in the world can you move forward after the life-changing loss of a loved one? I have learned that just because you feel stuck doesn't mean you are stuck. In this video, I will share 3 vital things that kept me going after the sudden death of my daughter in 2020. By applying these 3 steps, your hope can be restored. You can move towards healing, and it can empower you to truly live again. So the first step that's huge, and this step runs all through everything I think about and everything that I do that's helped me and how I help others, and that's movement. Movement. We need movement. Life is included with movement. Everything that we do and everything that functions in this world requires movement. So movement is huge. Now, it is not about the speed of your movement. It's just about you moving and figuring out what areas in your life you're not moving in. I'm going to mention 5 areas right now that's different categories that I think of in different areas of our life. And that's emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and relationships. So those are 5 areas that I kind of define, and we need movement in every one of those areas. So you might be moving in 4 of those areas, but not in 1, or maybe in 3 of those areas, but not in 2. And those 2 or 1 that you're not moving in can really affect you. And if you start moving and figuring out movement that works for you, and even one of those areas where you're maybe stuck or you're just not moving in that area, it can help immensely to bring a sense of peace, even though you don't have peace, and just can get you moving forward towards hope and healing and living again. Okay, so it's all about you asking yourself, am I moving in this area? And how can I best move in this area? What's the best way for me to move? Because you're unique. And I talk about this at length in other videos. This video is an overview of all 3 of these points. I have a whole series on this, and this will be at the end of this video, the series. So if you want to watch them more in depth, you can. Okay, but movement is crucial. And so the other 2 principles, the movement starts them off. Okay, so here's 3 of those areas examples, just to kind of give you a clue where I'm going here. Emotionally, what helps me is to journal out what I'm feeling and what I'm struggling with at the time, especially when I'm very overwhelmed with negative emotions. It helps me to journal. One of the things that helps me. Okay, mentally, one of the things that helps me is to do my declarations where I speak the truth over myself. A lot of them are based on Bible verses, but they're all different kinds of things in different areas. And some of them are on fear. Some of them are on that healing from my suffering, different areas, confidence. And that so helps me mentally. It really puts me in a better frame of mind after I speak my declarations over me. And you can look for videos in my channel about that specifically. It's a huge part of what's helped me all around, not just with my grief, but with my self-image and coping and all kinds of things. Third, physically. One of the things that I love to talk about in a lot of my videos is how I love to walk in nature. It's so supportive, and walking through along a path that has trees all around me, bushes or whatever all around me, or water, is just hugely supportive for me. Okay, and it's movement, right? It's walking, it's physical movement. So those are 3 suggestions of things that I found for me. What works for you? That's the key. What works for you? You may know something already. You say, Julie, this is what helps me. And then another email like, I don't think I'm doing anything in that area. Well, think about it and put it on the comment, because I'd love to hear from you. Put on the comment what you figured out you could do that could help you in one of these areas, or what you've already done that's already helping you in your grief, because this is movement. It's self-care. It's movement. Okay. So that's what I wanted to touch on with with movement. It's so important. There's no reward for speed. Alan Wolfelt says it's unique to you, but we still learn from each other. We get ideas from each other, but what works for me may not work for you. You figure out what works for you. And it changes as you go along your grief journey. Okay. So that's my first step. My second step or principle here that helped me so immensely not to get stuck in my own grief was what I call acceptance. And you can use other words, but the word acceptance works really well. And it's acceptance in multiple things, not just one thing. So one thing we need to accept is the loss itself, that the person died and they aren't coming back. And that can be a process right there, right? Another thing that we need acceptance is in our emotions, that we accept our emotions, that we accept where we're at and what we're going through each and every day and different steps in along our grief journey. So acceptance is huge. And acceptance is the opposite of resistance. We resist things, don't we? Different people, sometimes people are called stubborn, but we people do resist things. We resist and we try to be independent and we try to do things sometimes to make things a lot harder than it needs to be. And I thought of the example of plants and animals, okay? Plants and animals, they automatically accept. They exist in acceptance. Sounds funny, but they do, because when they have nutrients around them, they absorb it and they grow. A plant, for example, they get watered by rain or whatever, they receive that nutrients. That's normal for them, right? And then they grow. And even though a plant is stationary, right? It doesn't go around here and there like we do all the time. It still moves. And what's cool is the movement is a result of receiving and accepting the nutrients and the water and the things around them and the soil around them. That's what causes them to move. That's what causes the roots to go deeper, right? That's what causes them to flourish and be green and alive and produce fruit if they're fruit producing, right? Or flowers or whatever they do. So I thought of that, and I think it's really good for us to realize that we as people resist that at times, and that's hurting us. Animals typically find the food if they're a domestic cat or dog, and even our stray cats out here, they're doing everything they can to find that food to live and survive, and the water too, and they find it a lot of times, and then people give it and make it easier for them at times. And so, but the punt line animals, they just do it. They automatically accept what they're going through and they get what they need. And so we need to learn from that, from both plants and animals, I think. Okay, because resistance is futile. No, I don't know, I was just thinking of that. But it isn't. So the opposite of acceptance is resistance. And when we're resistant, it causes us to be stuck. So if you're feeling stuck or you think you really are stuck, it may be because you're resisting part of your grief story and journey and the things you're going through or facts surrounding their death or what have you. There's all kinds of things. I have 2 videos in this whole series. You're going to see the playlist at the end of this video. Click on it, even if you just want to save the playlist and watch it later. Okay, I have 2 videos on acceptance. It really breaks it down more than I can do in this video right here where I'm trying to cover all 3 principles. Okay, acceptance is so important. And when we accept, it allows us to move. Acceptance causes movement. So all 3 of these steps or principles interact and interweave. They're interdependent on each other. Okay, in order to have acceptance, we need movement. And when we have acceptance, it allows for movement. They go hand in hand. Really good. Okay, so I just want you to think about, am I accepting these different things? Am I accepting my emotions? Am I accepting where I'm at right now? I feel so tired. I want to beat myself up. Why can't I do the same things? It doesn't do any good to beat yourself up when you're different after your loss. It's so normal to be physically different. It's so normal to be emotionally and mentally and all around. Your relationships automatically shift. There's always some kind of a shift in your relationships after the loss of a loved one. If it was within a family, it can be a very huge shift. So be kind to yourself. Accept what you're going through, because then you can say, how do I get help for it? If you're accepting of an area, now you can get help. If you have a hard time accepting, whatever it is, you just can't accept what happened. You just still stuck in the surrounding of all the situation of their death. That can be huge in different situations like murder, etc. Okay? Get help one-on-one, whether it's from a trusted, safe friend, whether it's from a professional, a grief support group, or just watching a video. Okay? Watching videos to help you. Whatever it is, get the help outside of yourself so that you can eventually find acceptance in that area. It's common not to always accept things right away, but let's identify it, recognize it so we can work on it and get help. Because the sooner you accept these things, the more you can have movement. Okay? It allows for more movement, and we need movement. In life, if we don't move our bodies, bad things happen. Okay? Same with our emotions, our mental, our spiritual, and all the other areas of our life. There needs to be movement, and acceptance and movement go hand in hand. So the third one of these steps is purpose. I realized by looking at my story of the death of my daughter and then my grandkids being adopted out, and have videos on this whole story if you want to know about it more in depth. All during COVID, y'all, where there wasn't a lot of movement, where there wasn't, everything was hard to do and hard to get done. I learned that these 3 steps helped me to keep going. So finding new purpose was a huge part of my story. I talk about it on 2 videos in this series again, in depth. Purpose. Purpose emerges out of movement. And when we begin to recognize new areas of purpose or restoring purpose, continuing things we were already doing, but some things may need to stop. New purpose for me was definitely telling my daughter's story and was helping people with grief. When I found new purpose, it helped me to move forward. It helped me not to get stuck on what was out of my control. It helped me to accept things because I focused on the new purpose. And when we have acceptance and movement, we can find new purpose. Again, they all interchange, all 3 of these. Movement, acceptance, and purpose. They all need one another. Purpose can be just being purposeful about what you do to get help. Purposefulness, in that general sense, it applies. Okay, being intentional about things that you do. Now, part of that's going to be hard at first, depending on where you are in your grief journey, but get help so that you can get to that point of finding that. Because I coached one lady and she moved quickly out of her pit. She was stuck, absolutely stuck, didn't want to get out of bed. And it was amazing with her being a part of our support group and one-on-one coaching with me, how she moved fairly fast, but there's no comparison here. But part of it was that she actually thought she didn't have any gifts or talents or something like that. And I was like, yeah, right, I don't believe that. And so I asked her, what do you want to do? And she said, I want to visit people in the hospitals. And she's still to this day moving. And she came out of the pit. She's healing still. Of course, we're always ongoing, but she's been serving in that ministry. And I know it was a tremendous part of her moving forward in her grief journey. So finding a new purpose and something new that you want to do, or something you wanted to do all along, but you're finally going to do it, can help you have movement. It can also help you to accept the hard stuff that's still happening. Me not being able to really be in my grandkids' lives and really be grandma, and now having no contact at all right now for almost the last year, you know what keeps me going and keeps me okay and even positive is my purpose. Making videos here, helping people with their grief. That's part of what keeps me moving, y'all. And being able to accept what's out of my control because I'm focused on what it's in my control. So there's kind of the gist of the 3. Again, if you want to go in length, please click the video above this and share it out with somebody else who's grieving. This is actually a pivotal video for me. Not a perfect video, but a pivotal video for me because it's going to be kind of the beginning of this whole journey. And so if you would like to just do a little something that's pretty simple that I've created as an assessment, and it's called Are You Stuck in Grief? If you would like to take that, the link is in the description. If you don't see it there, let me know in a comment if you want to do that. I'm in the works of getting all that rolling. And that is to kind of help you to assess maybe where you're stuck more and what area you're stuck in. And then if you do that and you put in your email, which is part of that assessment, then I will be replying with recommendations that I have just for you without anything further. Things that I would recommend you to do, to actions to get moving, to help you to get unstuck or to not feel stuck anymore. Because sometimes it's just that feeling of being stuck, right? And then if you're just ready to jump in, you're just ready to jump into one on one, or you know you desperately need one on one help, and you just can't make heads or tails of any of this, then you can plan a grief clarity session with me, which is a whole hour on Zoom, or if you happen to be in the Tampa Bay area in person. And we really dive deeper into that assessment and look at it and find out where you're stuck and talk about that, how to get you moving, give a little bit of recommendations right there, how to get you moving, and then what you want your life to look like, how you want your life to be different, and then see if I can help you to get there, or if you want me to help you to get there. And that's a $30 grief clarity session that I keep very affordable so that I can offer and give you help right then. And almost everybody by the end of that hour feels better, feels lighter, feels less overwhelmed, less crazy maybe, and hopefully less stuck, or they have hope to get unstuck even by the end of that session. So that link for that is also in the description. So I look forward to hearing from you. I love comments. Click on the series above, save that playlist, go through it when you have time so that you can get this in a better, more thorough picture of this map, MAP, towards in your grief journey to go towards that destination of where you want to be, to have peace, healing, hope, and to be able to live again. You know, MAP is the way to get there. It just happens to be that the three principles end up spelling MAP. I didn't try to do that. So yes, I want to give you that map. I want to help you have a map to go along your grief journey to live again. God bless you. I'm Julie Kay, helping you find your way through grief and loss. Bye-bye.